Hello from sunny Porthleven. Good morning. It's Thursday and it's great to be able to share with you today in the Take 10 video. It's been so nice to connect with church and to share together over the last few weeks through these videos, and it's been really nice to feel as though we can still stay in touch at this really strange time. So I just wanted to share a couple of thoughts and verses with you this morning as we're heading into Thursday. For quite a while, I've been praying and asking God to speak to me in the ordinary things, to help me to see him and to find him in the ordinary, everyday, maybe even insignificant and mundane things. And I have to say, in the last couple of weeks, never has this prayer felt more pertinent than when we've been stuck in our homes all the time, kind of in a way stuck in the ordinary and mundane parts of our lives, unable to go out and do what we might normally do. So part of what we've been doing as a family while we've been at home in the last few weeks is we thought we'd try and grow some vegetables, and we had some seeds that we want to plant. Try being the operative word here. I'm definitely not much of a gardener, but we'll see how it goes. And so far we've managed to get some trays and we've managed to plant a few seeds to get ourselves started. And this morning, as we came down to check on them each morning as we do, something really amazing has happened. I'll try and show you. Just come over here. If you have a look here, if you can see, loads of our little seeds have sprouted, and that was just overnight. Not even a week, actually, but just, 5 or 6 days. It's been nothing, and then suddenly this morning, these seeds have appeared. And it felt really, really miraculous. And I kind of felt as though God was saying to me that it's one of those small, seemingly insignificant things that actually he's really present in. It's a real miracle. A seed growing is a miracle every single time it happens. And it happens all over the world every day. People plant seeds and grow them. But yeah, it's a really obvious, really tangible way that we can see God at work. It felt really simple and actually, perhaps quite insignificant, that we shoved some tiny dry seeds and kind of covered them in a pile of dirt and some darkness a few days ago. And actually, they've become already something really incredible. And it kind of struck me that at the moment, our lives can feel a little bit like that. We might be quite anxious or tired or fearful or confused in the times that we're in at the moment, in the way that we're sort of stuck in a really unknown time. It might even feel as though our lives are kind of covered with a pile of dirt and some darkness. But it's at this point that God is doing something and God is working, because God was doing something to those seeds in the dirt and the darkness that none of us could see. We just put a bit of water on and kept them warm and made sure they were okay in the meantime. But God was doing the work. God was turning that dry, tiny little seed into something quite beautiful. And it's at these times and at these points that it can maybe be helpful to remember that. And I've been trying to kind of learn from that and to remember that when it feels like things are a bit dark and covered in a pile of dirt, that actually God's doing something really important. And it says in Romans 8 that even kind of when we find these times, that God's there with us. So it says, Romans 8, meanwhile, the moment we get tired in the waiting, God's Spirit is right alongside helping us along. If we don't know how or what to pray, it doesn't matter. He does our praying in and for us, making prayer out of our wordless sighs and our aching groans. He knows us far better than we know ourselves, knows our condition and keeps us present before God. That's why we can be so sure that every detail in our lives of love for God is worked into something good. And I think at these points, it kind of reminds us that if we keep our focus on God and if we keep looking at him, the more we find we can trust him. He comes alongside us and he's in it with us. He's somehow in that pile of dirt and darkness, making the seeds turn from dry little seeds into something beautiful and the thing that they were always designed to be. And I think that's really, really exciting. And that's the kind of the thing that God's been sort of showing me, I think, in the ordinary and the mundane over this last week. And we're reminded as well in Psalm 100 that that God says to us, know that the Lord is God. It's He who made us, and we are His. We are His people, the sheep of His pasture. And again, it's kind of the unknowable God just says to know that He is God, He is Lord in all of this. He made us, and He made us, and He cares for us, and we're His in this strange, confusing time. So, I just want us to pray, and I've got a prayer that kind of a bit like that verse in Romans says, sometimes we don't know what to pray, and I feel like that sometimes, and I kind of don't know how to express the things that I'm feeling, and I kind of been finding that prayers that have been written by others at different times are actually really helpful. Sometimes they can help me to express what I'm feeling, and this prayer is one that I've turned to lots of times over the last year or two, and I think I might have shared it at church when I was eating a while ago, but it's the prayer of a saint, Saint Brendan, and he was somebody who took the gospel to different places in quite dramatic ways, and he really needed to rely on God at all times. And the first line of the prayer has really been in my mind over the last couple of weeks, because it says, help me to journey beyond the familiar and into the unknown. And I think if ever there's been an unknown time, it's this last few weeks. Everything around us feels unknown, doesn't it? Everything around us kind of feels different. And as though our world's been turned upside down in many ways. A bit like those seeds, it feels like perhaps we've had dirt and darkness heaped on us, and we can't quite see which way is out. But this prayer's been going around my mind, and I turned to it, and I thought I would finish with this prayer for you today. So it's the prayer of Saint Brendan. Dear Lord, help me to journey beyond the familiar and into the unknown. Give me the faith to leave old ways and break fresh ground with you. Christ of the mysteries, I trust you to be stronger than each storm within me. I will trust in the darkness and know that my times, even now, are in your hand. Tune my spirit to the music of heaven, and somehow make my obedience count for you. Amen. I just pray that this helps you to turn your focus to Christ of the mysteries today, our mysterious God who knows better than we can imagine the answer to the things that's going on right now in our lives. I hope you enjoy this song. It's a really old, really simple song that kind of reminds us again, if we turn our eyes to Him, then we'll be able to trust Him better. Have a great day.